Napster. Music piracy is a thing that happens. It's always been happening, believe it or not, even before the internet. People have been doing this before CDs, before tapes, before vinyls. Music piracy has existed as long as music has. You can find documentaries about this stuff. It's been going on for thousands of years. There's nothing new. It's not that the internet invented piracy, so whatever you think, don't think that, because you're an idiot if you do. Napster comes out. You know, people are file sharing in the early 2000s. The whole music industry was like, oh, what do we do? I can understand why a band whose primary income is record sales would start to freak out a little bit about this. Because the whole music industry was. No one knew what to do. No one had a real answer. As it turns out, the wonderful company Apple kind of had the answer, but that's a story for another time. And so Lars Ulrich went full on out for blood against Napster, music piracy in general, and I can understand that. But it came across as a little entitled and a little out of touch. If it had been a class action thing, maybe, but by like 150 different bands who weren't Metallica, or weren't Slayer, or weren't the Beatles, or weren't Oasis, like all these enormous global successful bands. If it was a bunch of mid to sort of underground bands banding together and saying, look, if this carries on, we will have no career at all, then that I could kind of understand. But when you are already a multi-millionaire and you want to single-handedly take down music piracy, you just come across as incredibly entitled, incredibly deluded. And at the time when they did this would have probably been around the time of Saint Anger, and I think that would have been a good time to end their career and just retire. Just sell t-shirts and merch and DVDs. You don't need more money, you greedy motherfucker. I could understand such a war against piracy from less established bands. But when you're Metallica with a pretty bulging bank account, it just comes across as a bit out of touch and greedy, essentially. Hundreds, if not thousands, hundreds of thousands of bands would have loved to have had the success that Metallica had, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. We now have to take down piracy because they're stealing our music. They were right in the end. He was right. This is what I'm saying. I'm not disputing the effect that music piracy had because of the internet. I'm not disputing that. Let me be clear. But Metallica is not the band to spearhead such a movement. Like I said, if it had been a bunch of small bands, fine. But Metallica, you've made your money. Give up. Retire. Put your fucking feet up.